So today we're going to talk about the difference between watts and lumens. So nowadays when you go buy bulbs, you'll notice on the packaging there's all kinds of crazy numbers and all this marketing stuff, and you can't just go buy a regular bulb anymore. It's not just buying a 60-watt bulb, go home and put it in. So now with LED lighting, fluorescent lighting, CFL, there's all this crazy differences between bulbs because of energy efficiency. The bulbs are electronic, and so it causes some changes in the way that we use, purchase, talk about, and consume light bulbs. So traditionally, before all this, the electronic bulbs, maybe 5 years ago or longer, we'd just go to the store and buy a regular incandescent bulb, just an old-fashioned screw-in Edison base, type bulb, and we would buy it by its wattage according to how much light we wanted. So probably the most common bulb in wattage out there was a 60-watt bulb. So if you wanted less light, you would buy a 40-watt bulb or a 25-watt bulb. If you wanted more light, you would purchase a 75-watt bulb or maybe even a 100-watt bulb or larger, depending on the application. So nowadays with CFLs and LEDs, because they're energy efficient, for example, CFLs being 75% more energy efficient than a incandescent bulb, if you're used to purchasing a 100-watt incandescent bulb, a CFL of equal brightness to a 100-watt incandescent is only going to consume 23 watts. Likewise, an LED being about 80 to 90% more energy efficient than an incandescent bulb, if you were to purchase an LED of equal brightness to the traditional 100-watt incandescent, you're looking at a bulb that's around 10 to 15 watts. If I were to tell you that an LED bulb that it has equal brightness to a 100-watt incandescent bulb was a 15-watt bulb, and I said, yep, here you go, here's your 15-watt bulb, you would naturally think that the bulb would not be bright enough. But because of energy efficiency, the wattage technically is not the brightness. So what is wattage? Now, wattage is actually the amount of energy consumed. Wattage is a mathematical number that basically it's what you pay for on your electric bill. So energy efficient bulbs use less energy, thereby they use less wattage, therefore your electric bill is lower. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's less light or they are less bright. So how do we talk about brightness in bulbs if it's not wattage? Well, nowadays on most every bulb that you can purchase, as far as consumers, most every bulb that you can purchase is labeled in lumens. So nowadays, instead of talking about wattage, we have to start talking about lumens. Lumens is in fact the brightness that a bulb puts out. It's the amount of light that a bulb puts out. Prior to this, we would say if I want a 60-watt bulb, you go buy a 60-watt bulb. Now, if we're looking for a 60-watt equivalent, we might be looking for a 600 to 800 lumen bulb. Now, every bulb is different, not just incandescent and LED and fluorescent. Different manufacturers and different types of bulbs within manufacturers will have different lumens in them. So these are ballparks. The number on the manufacturer's packaging with each individual bulb is going to be pretty accurate to the brightness. Sorry, you might be looking at a 60-watt equivalent bulb that puts out 650 lumens. Or another manufacturer or type of bulb might have a 60-watt equivalent bulb that puts out 750 lumen. So there's going to be some variance here, but the lumens is actually the brightness. If you want the most amount of light, you probably will notice that the bulb is going to have, or I'm sorry, not the bulb, but the manufacturer is probably going to identify it as some sort of equivalent, such as a 60-watt equivalent or a 100-watt equivalent. And then on the details of the packaging, you'll also notice that it says the lumen. So if you really need the brightest bulb, look on the packaging for lumens. And the lumens is, in fact, the brightness of the bulb. So if you want the brightest bulb, go buy lumens. Do not use wattage. So eventually, we won't be talking about wattage any longer. We will be talking about lumens when it comes to brightness of bulbs or the amount of light that bulbs put out. Hope that helps in understanding the differences between watts and lumens when purchasing and using light bulbs. Thanks for watching and have a good day.